I remember when I first moved to London to get my master's in film directing, and suddenly a robot apocalypse emerged and just completely derailed my plans, or at least that's a very similar story to the plot of this film directed by Michael Rianda. This is my review of The Mitchells versus the Machines. We follow a quirky and dysfunctional family's road trip that is appended when they find themselves in the middle of the robot apocalypse, and suddenly they become humanity's unlikeliest last hope. Now, before I dive deep into this review, I want to know how excited you are for this film that unfortunately we cannot see in theaters. It's coming directly to Netflix on April 30th. And while you're down there, let me know all your thoughts, anticipations. You're starting the conversation, which is the most important part. Consider clicking the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. You'll be supporting me and joining a beautiful community, and you'll always be aware of whenever I upload more movie reviews, trailer reactions, anime reviews, all great geeky stuff. The Mitchells versus the Machines blew me away in every regard. This film is phenomenal. I was anticipating this film much like everyone else that I know and that I talk to, but this film is sensational. It is so funny in all regards. The jokes in the film work so well, even when it treads on dangerous ground, like using pop culture references that even in the context of the film are dated, but they work so well as part of the story and as part of the identity of these characters. The film has this offbeat sense of humor that is so snappy and witty. It almost feels natural and improv by these characters and by the actors who play them. Everyone does such a great job voicing their characters. Maya Rudolph as the mom, Danny McBride as the dad, and Abby Jacobson as our main character Katie. This is the best performance I have seen from her. Everyone is so likable, so unique, so quirky in their own way. They have a lot of pros, but they also have a lot of flaws that they overcome throughout this story. This family dynamic works so well, and all of them have different relationships to each other, and they're so unique and likable in their own way, and they're distinguishable from one another. What a concept! At the heart of this film really is the father and daughter relationship. She's going away because she wants to make movies for her life, which is something I can very much relate to, and the father is afraid because the daughter doesn't spend more time with the family. They don't spend more time together, and as you find out why this affects him, you can understand both sides so well. The heart of this film is so compelling and relatable. This is a hilarious, heartwarming, wholesome film that, despite its most sci-fi, wacky concepts and elements of the story, always has the notion of it being a family story, and it really is a film about family. Not only for families, but about a family. What changes in time in the relationship of a parent and their child, and the film really makes a fair case for both sides. You get to understand the daughter having enough of her dad and wanting to go out there on her own and be herself, but you also understand the parent side of being afraid and wanting more time with their kids. And as you dive into the backstory of this family and how they came to be the way they are, prepare some tissues because the tears will most certainly flow. I know mine did. In a lot of ways, my tears flowed because I found myself very much relating to our main character because of her goals and what she feels right now in her life being trapped. But someone who's going out there into the world because she wants to make movies, I felt personally attacked by the movie. It really grounds the film and all its wackiness and quirkiness in real life. This film tugs at your heartstrings in the most unexpected ways. I really loved all these characters. The mom, especially played by Maya Rudolph, has a scene near the end of this film that is all kinds of amazing and hilarious. I love the little brother who is just obsessed with dinosaurs, and I can also relate to that because when I was a kid, I only saw dinosaurs ahead of me. But Katie and her dad really are the emotional anchor of this film, and you really grab onto them. Their arcs are beautiful, and the film really executes these arcs in their own unique way. Not completely unfamiliar and new, but in a way that is distinguishably their own. There's such a great chemistry between all these characters. You never get tired of hanging out with them throughout their adventure, even before the robot apocalypse starts, which is also so freaking funny, with Olivia Colman playing the villain, and she is hilarious throughout. Beck Bennett and Fred Armisen plays these two robots who malfunction and accompany the family through most of its journey, and they add such a fresh dynamic to proceedings. At one point you just start having no idea where this film is going and how it's going to get to that point, and it's so intriguing to watch because this film is so much unlike any other, not only in the way it tells its story but also in the animation. The animation is so unique, it's so vibrant, it's so fresh, it lends to the more compelling emotional moments, to the more exciting, adrenaline-fueled action sequences. There are insane to watch. Everyone who worked in this film in the animation department deserves every single praise. The designs are so unique, the characters move in such unique ways, everything looks so fresh and new and different from anything you've seen before. Like, the designs feel like 2D, but they move in 3D, and they use something similar in this film visually to what they did in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where if Miles was falling down and he's screaming, you see the on screen. You have similar things in this film. They are also part of the jokes, but then they are also part of the drama and the emotional hook of the story. Going into the film, I only saw the one trailer that came out like a year ago before it moved to Netflix, and we had this great family dramedy going on a road trip, but then there was suddenly this robot apocalypse, and I was like, I love both of these things, but I don't see how they connect. But they connect so well. The film has such deep and compelling themes that you don't expect, especially when you look and on the surface it's this funny, wacky looking comedy that is spectacular to see, but when the film reels it down and you have those slow, more dramatic moments, it really works, it really hits you. But of course, the real show stealer in this film is Monchi the dog. This dog is fucking hysterical. I could not get enough of him. I didn't want to get enough of him. I want a solo movie just of Monchi because he is that good. There's a scene in a mall in this film where the balance of drama and dread and comedy is so well handled, but the show stealer is actually a very old IP from like the 90s. And it's hilarious how they use this. It's hilarious how they use tropes from this very familiar story structure and change it around, innovate things around them, but always focus on this family and the drama that's going on with the father and the daughter going away. I think it's something that most families will be able to relate to some way, somehow, directly or indirectly, if it has happened to them, or if they have that fear that their children will go away someday. This film surprised me in every single regard. Its execution is remarkable. The writing is fresh, snappy, witty, and so utterly refreshing, with great character work and a great narrative. This film blew me away. I'm giving The Mitchells vs. the Machines an A. Throwing it over to you now. Are you excited for The Mitchells vs. the Machines? Have you seen the film? Let me know all of that in the comments below. Start the conversation. It's the most important part. I cannot wait for you guys to see this hilarious, heartwarming film. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. If you've watched this far but still haven't clicked the subscribe button, consider clicking it. You've enjoyed this review, and if you get tired of me in the future, you can always unsubscribe. Thank you so much for watching once more. My review of Shadow and Bone Season 1 is now up on the channel. I'll see you very soon in my reviews of Invincible, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Shaman King. So until then, love each other and love the movies.